everybody, it's Anna. Time for our Wednesday card and this week's tarot story. Today we have the Hermit. So the Hermit is a major arcana card, which means it connects to a big life lesson. And the Hermit is the old wise man of the tarot. You can see he's got this gray robe on, kind of reminds you of like a wizard energy, right? He's kind of old, he's wizened, but there's a kindliness to him, right? So he's carrying his lantern, which represents following his own enlightenment, his own wisdom. And he's stepping away from the world. The Hermit moves out of the drama and the expectations and the noise of the world around him in order to go into a quiet place where he can sort of surface his own wisdom. So it connects to the times in our lives where we can't get any more like opinions from other people or advice, or everything some other people are telling us is not being helpful, it's not connecting, and we need to set it aside and kind of step back, recognizing that if we create enough space and enough silence within ourselves, we will be able to find the discernment, the gift, the blessing that we are waiting to surface. So I often think of the Hermit as walking into a labyrinth. If you think of a labyrinth, people get the labyrinth and the maze confused, but a maze you can get lost in, right? A labyrinth is just one single path. It does wind around quite a bit and you can feel like you get pretty confused, but you can't get lost in a labyrinth. You can just trust the path. So the idea is this Hermit's walking into the center of the labyrinth, right? And the further he walks into the labyrinth, the further he gets away from noise. He gets closer and closer to a place of silence within himself where he can surface wisdom. So he gets to the center of the labyrinth and he just sits there and he waits, knowing that this is worth waiting for. It's a very important moment in our discernment of our journey, is that the wisdom comes from you. It's an important moment when you realize the wisdom comes from you and not from other people, and you have to wait for it. You have to cultivate that wisdom and be still enough to receive it. So what occurs to me is yesterday we had the Two of Swords, which is about the mind trying to make a decision and discovering maybe it's not terribly equipped to choose your future path. But the good news is it's got this ocean behind it, which is the intuition. So in the early stages of the mind's walk in the spiritual journey, it is being offered a partnership with intuition, and they're going to work together to discern how they're going to move forward. And actually the intuition is probably going to be the leader because it does have access to sort of spiritual wisdom and genius. With the Hermit is when we surface that wisdom and genius, right? So it's like we know that the universe wants to talk to us. We know our intuition's capable of receiving that information, but we have to kind of break free of the delusion that the mind can get caught in, which says the information's out there. If I talk to enough people, if I read enough books, if I go to enough retreats, I will find it. Instead of saying, well, you can go on retreats and you can read books and you can talk to people if you want, but none of them are going to get you what this gets you, which is actually centering into yourself, trusting your own wisdom and letting it surface. I also like the idea of the Hermit, as I think of him as going into the labyrinth and then coming back out. The Hermit does not live in a cave forever. He goes into a cave or the center of the labyrinth to surface wisdom, and then he returns to the world. He does that because he knows that he's surfacing something for the benefit of the world. So there isn't just this sort of lonely old guy who never interacts with people. I think of him as the guy that knows when it's time to leave in order to surface the gift in order to serve the world. So there is a very loving kind of ebb and flow to the Hermit. So consider whether you need to take a break from looking for the answer, from asking opinions, from the ways that the noise of the world's breaking in. It's not getting you closer to what you're trying to surface. See if you can take a break from it, step out, find a way to make some space. And if your mind is nervous about it, because your mind's sort of in the momentum of looking for advice, see if you can help your mind calm down. Again, this is the Two of Swords coming in. Can we get the mind to stop fighting the intuition and learn how to be quiet sometimes, be still sometimes, and let the intuition do its work? The intuition's work is often kind of quiet and comes from a place of stillness. Whether you're physically still or not is not what I'm talking about. It comes from a place of solitude where you're really evoking your own wisdom. It's not listening to other people. It's not getting distracted. It's listening to your place of solitude. And since the mind usually learns that it's supposed to listen to other people and it's outward focused, we have to sort of train the mind to stop doing that and instead be still and wait for the miracle to surface. So that's the Hermit card. See you tomorrow for our next card. Bye.